In the world of Demon Slayer, there are demons who kill for fun, demons who enjoy pain, and demons who have completely forgotten what it means to be human. But then, there's AKAZA, a demon feared even by the strongest Hashira, a warrior whose strength made people tremble. But behind those cold eyes was a story filled with loss, pain, and regret. And honestly, once you understand his past, it becomes impossible to truly hate him. Because AKAZA was never born evil. He was created by suffering. Before he became the upper rank 3 demon, before his name became feared across Japan, he was just a poor boy trying to survive. No power, no family wealth, no happiness, only struggle. Every single day of his life was a fight, not for glory, not for dreams, but simply to stay alive. His father was extremely sick, and AKAZA, who was still human at that time, would do anything to save him. Anything, even stealing. He stole money again and again just to buy medicine. Imagine that for a second. A child forced into crime, not because he wanted luxury, but because he wanted his father to live. But the world didn't care. People didn't see a desperate son. They saw a criminal, a thief, someone worthless. Again and again, he was beaten, punished, humiliated, and slowly, the anger inside him began growing stronger. But despite everything, AKAZA still loved his father deeply. He believed that if he kept fighting, if he kept sacrificing himself, maybe things would finally get better. But life had other plans. One day, his father took his own life. Not because he hated his son, but because he couldn't bear watching AKAZA suffer anymore. And that moment completely destroyed him. Imagine carrying all that pain at such a young age. Losing the only person you were fighting for, the only person who truly mattered. Most people would break. And honestly, AKAZA did. After his father's death, he became violent, lost, hopeless. He fought anyone who challenged him. Not because he enjoyed violence, but because pain was the only thing he understood anymore. And then, for the first time in his life, something changed. He met Keizo, a martial arts master. But more importantly, someone who treated him like a human being. Not a criminal, not a monster, a human. Keizo gave him food, shelter, purpose. And for the first time, AKAZA felt peace, real peace. He trained every single day, not to hurt people, but to become stronger, disciplined, focused. And eventually, he met someone who changed his life forever, Koyuki, Keizo's daughter. She was weak physically, but her heart was stronger than anyone around her. She was kind to AKAZA, gentle. She smiled at him in a way nobody else ever had. And slowly, AKAZA began changing. The angry boy who once hated the world started dreaming about a future, a peaceful future. Imagine how rare that feeling must have been for him. After years of pain, years of loneliness, he finally had something beautiful, a family, a reason to live. And honestly, this is what makes AKAZA's story so tragic, because every time happiness entered his life, something came to destroy it. People became jealous of him, jealous of his strength, jealous of his talent. And one day, everything was taken away. The dojo's enemies poisoned the well. Keizo died. Koyuki died. The 2 people who gave AKAZA hope were gone forever. And in that moment, something inside him completely shattered. Not cracked, not weakened, shattered. All the pain he had buried for years exploded at once. The rage, the grief, the loneliness, everything. And AKAZA lost control. He slaughtered every single person responsible, without mercy, without hesitation. That moment was the birth of the monster the world would later fear. But even then, he wasn't truly evil. He was broken. There's a difference. And that's why AKAZA is one of the most unforgettable characters in Demon Slayer. Because deep down, he still carried human emotions. Even after becoming a demon. Even after gaining unimaginable power. Even after killing countless people. Some part of him was still that lonely boy searching for strength. Searching for meaning. Searching for the happiness life stole from him. That's also why AKAZA respected strong people. Especially warriors. Because strength represented survival to him. Protection, control. He believed weak people suffered because he had suffered again and again. And maybe if he became strong enough, he would never feel helpless again. That philosophy shaped everything about him. Every battle, every decision, every punch. And then came one of the most legendary moments in Demon Slayer history. AKAZA versus Rengoku, the Flame Hashira. 2 warriors, 2 completely different ideologies. Rengoku fought to protect others. AKAZA fought to escape weakness. And honestly, that battle was more than just fists and power. It was a clash between pain and hope. AKAZA couldn't understand why humans chose weakness, why they accepted death, why they refused power. But Rengoku showed him something important. True strength isn't about living forever. It's about protecting others no matter the cost. And for the first time in a long time, AKAZA looked shaken. Because somewhere deep inside, Rengoku reminded him of the human he used to be. A person who once wanted to protect people too. That's why AKAZA becomes such an emotionally complex villain. You fear him, you hate him, but at the same time, you understand him. And sometimes, understanding a villain hurts more than simply hating them. Because you realize, things could have been different. If life had shown him kindness earlier, maybe AKAZA would have become a hero instead of a demon. Maybe he would have protected people. Maybe he would have lived peacefully with Koyuki. Maybe the world would have remembered him as a great martial artist instead of a monster. But tragedy changed everything. And that's the cruel beauty of his story. Some characters are born evil. AKAZA wasn't. He became evil after losing everything that made him human. And honestly, that makes his story terrifyingly realistic. Because pain changes people, loss changes people, loneliness changes people. And Demon Slayer shows that perfectly through AKAZA. That's why fans still talk about him so much. Not just because he's powerful, not just because his fights are incredible, but because his emotions feel real, his suffering feels real. And in the end, when his memories finally returned, when he remembered Koyuki, remembered his father, remembered the life he once had, the demon inside him finally broke. For the first time in centuries, AKAZA stopped fighting. Not because he lost strength, but because he finally faced his pain. And honestly, that moment was heartbreaking. Because underneath all the violence, all the rage, all the destruction, there was still a human soul begging for peace. Maybe that's why AKAZA remains one of the greatest anime villains ever created. Not because he was unstoppable, but because he was human. A human destroyed by tragedy, a warrior consumed by grief, a broken soul searching for strength in the wrong place. And honestly, that's what makes his story unforgettable.